Most seniors over 60 are told the same story. Vision fades, memory slips, mornings feel foggier, and the explanation is always the same. It's just aging. Yet, a large multi-year study following more than 5,000 adults over 60 found that nearly half of these changes were linked to poor sleep quality, reduced circulation, and impaired overnight brain recovery, and not aging itself. So there is hope because in today's episode of the Senior Health Podcast, Japan's oldest physician is going to provide you with something simple yet so effective. We will discuss 4 research-backed juices that seniors can make at home to support vision and memory while they sleep. He will explain why each one works, who it is best suited for, and include simple recipes you can follow step by step. He is sitting right here with me. And doctor, before we begin, what is everyone getting from this conversation? This episode is a true game-changer, John, because today we will help seniors reconnect their body to its natural repair cycle. And like you said, I will share 4 simple evening-friendly juices that support the brain and eyes while the body rests. And if you finish this episode, you can request the written recipes in the comments by just commenting recipe. That really resonates, especially for seniors who feel like their bodies aren't responding the way they used to. They are often told what they've lost, not what they can still restore. That is exactly why today's episode is so important. Many seniors do not realize that memory lapses and blurry vision often begin with disrupted nighttime repair, snorts, long before anything feels severe or irreversible. And the most concerning part is how often these changes are dismissed as normal aging instead of signals that the brain and eyes are undernourished during sleep. Right? Makes sense. I urge everyone to stay with us. This episode is designed to help you feel more confident about protecting your vision and clears throat memory, and more hopeful about what your body can still restore each night. Now, doctor, I'll turn it over to you. What is the first juice seniors should know about to support clearer vision and sharper memory while they sleep? Let's begin with a juice that many seniors would never expect to influence both eyesight and memory, and that is carrot juice. It is gentle, taken in the evening, and works quietly by supporting the brain and eyes during their deepest repair window. I often describe carrot juice as a signal that tells the body it finally has what it needs to rebuild. When changes feel subtle or frustrating after 60, these quiet signals can matter more than aggressive interventions. That line really captures what so many seniors struggle to put into words. Yes, and that frustration often comes from misunderstanding what is actually changing. After 60, vision and memory rarely decline because cells suddenly fail. More often, the systems nourish them at night. Snorts. Slow down quietly without pain or warning. That feels important because seniors often assume the loss is permanent. They tell me they are still trying, still sleeping, but nothing seems to improve. I hear that a lot in seniors. Sleep can look normal on the surface, yet the deeper repair phases are shortened or interrupted. When that happens, the brain cannot clear waste efficiently, and the eyes stay inflamed from the day before. So it is not that the body has stopped working. It sounds like it has lost the conditions it needs to finish the job. Exactly. The key here is understanding that memory and vision depend on circulation, oxygen, and specific nutrients reaching delicate cells during rest. When those signals are weak, repair becomes incomplete night after night. That explains why changes feel gradual but persistent. Yes, and this is where gentle support matters. When seniors add nourishment, that the brain and eyes recognize the body often responds with quiet consistency rather than dramatic change. That steadiness is what rebuilds trust in the system. It reminds me of seniors who say small evening habits made mornings feel different again. That observation is very telling. Evening choices shape how well the brain and eyes recover while sleeping. Some foods burden digestion, while others feed repair without stimulation. That makes me curious about how simple something like juice could actually make that difference. And this leads us forward. Carrot juice, when prepared, gently delivers nutrients that support retinal cells and memory circuits without interfering with sleep. It becomes a quiet signal the body understands immediately. I can feel there is something practical and reassuring coming next. How does that first juice work so quietly at night? And how should seniors prepare it so it supports repair instead of disrupting rest? Begin gently. Carrot juice works quietly at night because it delivers beta-carotene and protective antioxidants that the body converts into vitamin A at a steady pace without stimulating the nervous system. During sleep, those nutrients support retinal repair and help brain cells reduce oxidative stress from the day. The key here is that carrot juice nourishes rather than excites, so it fits naturally into the body's resting rhythm. When taken in the evening, it becomes fuel for repair instead of a signal to stay alert. That feels reassuring, especially for seniors who are sensitive to anything that disrupts sleep. It sounds like the benefit is less about force and more about timing and recognition. Exactly. And preparation matters just as much as the ingredient. Start by keeping it simple, using fresh carrots rather than the bottled juice, because freshness reduces sugar spikes and preserves nutrients. 1 or 2 medium carrots are enough blended or juiced into a small glass so the body is supported without being overstimulated, taken about 1 to 2 hours before bed. It allows digestion to stay calm while repair begins. That's helpful because seniors often ask me about quantity. They wonder if more is better or if timing really makes a difference. That's a very common concern. More is rarely better in the evening. A small glass is sufficient and consistency matters more than volume. Some seniors add a touch of healthy fat earlier in the day to improve absorption, but at night, carrot juice on its own is usually best. The goal is to let the body absorb quietly without asking it to work harder when it should be resting. That simplicity is probably why seniors can actually stick with it. Yes. And when they do, they often notice mornings feel clearer before they notice anything dramatic. Vision sharpens subtly, and memory feels less foggy. Not because something new was added, but snorts, because repair finally finished. That makes me wonder how circulation fits into this picture, since circulation is so important. Well, it fits more deeply than most expect. Nourishing cells is one part, but delivering oxygen to them is another. And that brings us to the next juice. Okay. So, what is the next drink that can help the brain and eyes actually use all this nourishment more effectively, particularly for seniors who feel mentally sluggish during the day? When circulation comes into focus, the drink I turn to next is beet juice, because it speaks directly to blood flow without overstimulating the body. Beets support the production of nitric oxide, which gently widens blood vessels and improves oxygen delivery to the brain and eyes. At night, that improved flow helps nutrients reach cells that are ready to repair. For seniors, this can mean clearer mornings and less mental heaviness during the day. That makes a lot of sense, especially for seniors who describe their thinking as slow rather than forgetful. It sounds like the nourishment is there, but it struggles to arrive. Yes, and that reminds me of how often circulation is overlooked. The brain uses a great deal of oxygen even at rest, and the eyes depend on tiny blood vessels that are sensitive to stiffness. When blood flow improves, those tissues respond quickly, not with stimulation, but with efficiency. Beet juice supports that process steadily, often within days. So, it is less about adding energy and more about removing the bottleneck. Exactly. Seniors often feel sluggish, not because the brain is weak, but because delivery has slowed. When oxygen and nutrients move freely, mental clarity often follows naturally. This is why beet juice works so well when paired with earlier nourishment like carrot juice. That pairing feels intentional rather than random. It is nourishment feeds the cells, circulation delivers it, and together they restore rhythm. Once seniors feel that rhythm return, the change can feel surprisingly reassuring. I can imagine seniors feeling hopeful once they notice that kind of shift. Yes, and there is one important detail that determines whether beet juice helps or overwhelms. It is the preparation, and when it is taken makes all the difference. That makes me want to slow down and understand it properly. How should seniors prepare beet juice so it supports circulation gently and fits naturally into their routine without causing discomfort? Start by keeping it simple and respectful of the body. Beet juice works best when it is made fresh at home, lightly diluted and taken earlier in the day rather than late at night. 1 small raw beet is enough. Wash it well, peel it, and blend it with a full glass of water so the flavor stays gentle and digestion remains calm. When seniors approach it this way, Circulation improves steadily instead of overwhelming the system. That feels important because many seniors worry about strong flavors or stomach upset. It sounds like preparation matters just as much as choosing the juice itself. Yes, and that reminds me of many patients who tried beet juice too intensely at first. Pairing the beet with half an apple or a few slices of orange softens the taste and slows absorption. Drinking it slowly and never on an empty stomach helps the body accept the nutrients without strain. Over time, circulation adapts naturally rather than reacting sharply. That pacing probably makes it easier for seniors to trust the process. Exactly. The key here is consistency rather than quantity. One small glass 2 or 3 times a week is enough to support oxygen delivery to the brain and eyes. Seniors often notice clearer thinking and warmer hands or feet before they ever think about numbers or tests. That kind of change feels reassuring rather than dramatic. Yes, and once circulation improves, something else begins to happen quietly at night. The brain becomes more responsive to repair signals instead of just fuel delivery. That makes me curious about what supports that deeper repair. Well, when circulation is steady, the brain is better prepared to protect and rebuild memory cells during sleep. So there is another juice that works directly at that level of protection. Then, tell us what juice comes next for supporting the brain and memory during the night. The third juice that works less on delivery and more on protection is blueberry juice. Blueberries contain anthocyanins that help shield brain cells from oxidative stress and support the networks responsible for memory formation. At night, those compounds cross into the brain and help stabilize communication between neurons while you sleep. For seniors, this kind of protection is what preserves clarity over time. That feels especially relevant for seniors who worry about losing more than just focus. It sounds like this is about safeguarding what is still there. Yes, and that reminds me how often fear accelerates decline. When the brain feels protected, it can focus on rebuilding instead of defending itself. Blueberry juice supports that environment by reducing inflammation in memory centers and calming overactive stress signals over weeks. This creates a steadier foundation for recall and attention. That kind of steady protection feels different from quick fixes. It is. The key here is that blueberries do not stimulate the brain. They snorts reassure it. When taken in the evening, they support the brain's natural nighttime maintenance without disturbing sleep. That makes me think about seniors who wake up mentally tired. Yes, when the brain feels safe enough to repair, it becomes more receptive to deeper restoration. There is a simple way to prepare this juice so it fits gently into the evening without adding effort. I'm leaning in now because preparation is where seniors often hesitate. How should blueberry juice be prepared so it supports nighttime repair without interfering with rest? And what should seniors pay attention to when they first try it? Again, we want to keep it calm and familiar. Blueberry juice works best when it is simple, lightly blended, and taken about an hour before bed, so the brain can use those protective compounds during sleep. Fresh or frozen blueberries with a little water are usually enough because adding heavy ingredients late in the evening can distract the body from repair. The goal is to nourish the brain without waking it up. That feels very doable, especially for seniors who do not want another complicated routine. It sounds more like an evening habit than a treatment. It is, and seniors should pay attention to how they feel in the morning, rather than expecting something dramatic at night. Clearer thinking, steadier mood, or less eye fatigue are often the earliest signs that the brain is responding. Over time, that gentle response builds confidence. That kind of feedback probably keeps seniors motivated. Exactly. The key here is listening rather than measuring. When the body and the feels supported, sleep deepens naturally, and memory feels less strained during the day. Blueberry juice is not meant to fix everything, but it creates the conditions for protection and repair to continue. That protection sounds especially valuable for long-term clarity. So, let's continue. Once the brain is protected, another need becomes clear: supporting the structure that allows vision and thinking to stay sharp. So stay with me, everyone. There is one more juice that helps strengthen that foundation. I hope you kept the best juice for last. So let's hear it. What is the next juice that can help support that deeper foundation for eyesight and cognition? Fourth and last juice I often recommend is spinach juice because it supports the deeper structure that vision and cognition rely on over time. Spinach provides lutein and zeaxanthin, which accumulate in the macula and protect the fine details of sight. At the same time, it offers folate and vitamin K, nutrients the brain uses to maintain clear signaling and memory resilience. This is about strengthening the foundation rather than chasing quick effects. That feels grounding, especially for seniors who want stability more than sudden change. It sounds like this juice works quietly in the background. Yes, and that makes me think of how often structure is ignored. Vision is not just about sharpness, and memory is not just about recall. Both depend on healthy cell membranes and steady communication, and spinach supports those systems gently when used consistently. Over time, seniors often notice steadier focus and less visual fatigue. That kind of long-term steadiness feels reassuring. Exactly. The key here is patience and trust. Spinach juice does not announce itself with immediate sensation, but it supports the body's ability to preserve what matters. When seniors think in terms of preservation rather than correction, this juice fits naturally into that mindset. It sounds like something seniors could commit to without pressure. And like with the other juices, preparation plays a quiet but important role here because the body absorbs these nutrients best when the juice is made simply and consumed thoughtfully. I'm curious about that part because preparation often determines whether seniors follow through. How should spinach juice be prepared so it supports this deeper foundation without feeling heavy or difficult to maintain? Start by keeping it light and approachable. Spinach juice works best when it is fresh, mild, and blended with the ingredients that make it easy to digest rather than heavy. A small handful of spinach with water or a gentle companion like cucumber or apple allows the body to absorb lutein and folate without strain. The goal is to support the foundation quietly, not to overwhelm digestion or appetite. That already sounds more realistic for seniors who struggle with strong green flavors. It feels like something they could actually enjoy rather than tolerate. Yes, and that reminds me how important consistency is at this stage of life. When spinach juice feels pleasant, seniors return to it naturally. Over time, those nutrients accumulate in the eyes and brain, strengthening the structures that protect clarity and focus. This slow accumulation is where resilience is built. That kind of slow strength feels very different from chasing results. Exactly. The key here is moderation and rhythm. Spinach juice does not need to be taken daily, and it works best earlier in the day when digestion is active. When seniors respect that rhythm, the body accepts the support without resistance. That balance sounds like something seniors can maintain long-term, and this leads us forward. Once seniors understand each juice on its own, the bigger question becomes how to use them together without turning health into a burden. That feels like the real challenge for many seniors. How can they use these juices in a way that feels simple and flexible without creating pressure or confusion in their daily routine? Simplicity is the answer. Seniors do not need to do everything, only one small thing at the right time, and let the body respond in its own way. That's the perfect note to end on. To anyone who made it this far, comment recipe in the comments. With that, share this video, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. Oh, and watch this next video right now. Yes, please. We've picked this one especially for you.